Hi everyone, my name is Bree and welcome back to our channel 1134 Press, where we share bookmaking, scrapbook, and papercraft inspiration. So last week I showed you guys how to upcycle a thrift store book, and if you visit our Instagram at 1134 Press, you'll see that I already started scrapbooking in it, and I will show you some pictures here. So this week I'm going to give you some ideas of what to do with the text block that we cut out of that thrift store book. I wanted to make this video because when I was getting into scrapbooking, I thought that I needed to go to Michael's or whatever craft store and spend all this money on these patterned papers and stickers and anything else that I thought I would need to make a beautiful collage in my journal. And the reality is you don't need to do that. And I think that something like a text block that you cut out of a book offers a lot of inspiration to do cool things in your journals and make origami. So this video I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do with text block to use in your journal. So without further ado, here are the clips. So without further ado, here's the tutorial. All right, so this is the text block that we cut from that thrift store book last week. I added a little shot of the cover, just in case you forgot, but also the video to that tutorial will be linked as well in the description. So the first project that you can do with your text block, obviously, is you can make another junk journal with it. So I guess that is tip number 1. So a really easy binding technique is sometimes referred to as pamphlet stitch, other times it's referred to as zine binding, but essentially you get your pages together, you lay them out, fold them in half, and then you want to punch 5 holes through the middle or through the fold. So I guess this is a second tip or second DIY you can do is use the text block as a punching cradle. If you set the book that you're making into the middle of the book, it makes it a lot easier to punch holes along the fold. The materials that you'll need to make this is obviously some pages. For the cover, I just used watercolor paper. I felt like it was thick enough for a particular style of book. You'll also need an awl and a needle and thread. If you don't have an awl, you can use a needle instead. What I would just do is put a eraser at the end so you can have some grip to punch through your pages without the needle going through your hand. And again, like in the last video that I mentioned, when you're making a junk journal, it's always good to have a good variation of different types of paper. I love those embroidery scissors. They're so cute. So the third tip, or the third project, I don't know what I'm calling these, but the third thing you can do is cut out words from the book to collage into your spreads. So there's this form of poetry called found poetry or erasure poetry, where you take a pre-existing text and you black out the words to create a new poem. You could do something very similar to this style of poetry by just cutting out words and rearranging them in a way to create a new poem. But for this particular book, I just went through and found some phrases that either sparked my imagination or I like the imagery in the words. Yeah, so anything that just resonated with me in any way. So after I cut them out, I store them in a little envelope so I can use it in a journal collage. So now we are going to do a little origami and make a picture frame out of the pages. So you will need 4 book pages and you want to cut them into squares. If it's not perfect, it's okay. You could just go through with your scissors to line it up. Once you've created 4 triangles, the next thing you're going to do is slide them into the little pockets to make a square. I added a little glue on there, but not a lot, just in case if I had to finagle it a little bit, move it around to try to get it as square as possible. If I was using perfect squares, I would have a lot less finagling to do, but you live and you learn, and it's fine. So now that we have our picture frame, I'm just decorating a piece of scrap watercolor to create a piece of art that we can slide into our picture frame. Journaling with scraps is one of my favorite things. If you go onto our Instagram, you'll see that's predominantly what makes up my journaling spreads. I really hate waste, so I try to use every piece of material that I could possibly save or use. And now I am going to do a little simple journal spread with the frame that we made. You'll notice that I added a little bit of text onto the picture, and that is from the lines that I cut out earlier. And those little reinforcement circles that I added to the spread are literally just reinforcement rings that you use for paper in binders. And I just added a little watercolor and some ink to give it that texture. You can't really see it in the video that well, but there is some gold ink on there, so it shimmers. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is make some paper flowers. So what you want to do is draw a circle and cut it out, and you will need 7 of these circles. You'll see though that I only cut 6, and I realized that I was missing one while I was constructing the flower, but you'll see how I just added it in to make the flower less wonky. So each circle represents a petal for your flower, and again, you will need 7, not 6. Don't make the mistake like me where you realize as you're gluing it together that something is off. You will need 7 petals. And although I'm only showing you guys a few things that you can do with these text blocks, the possibilities are endless. You can make paper, you could shred them and use them as paper grass for like packaging. There's so many things you can do with it, and I hope that this video gives you some inspiration on thinking a little bit more creatively and eco-friendly minded as you go through your crafty adventures. And the last thing I'm gonna do is super simple. I'm just gluing these pages together to create wrapping paper. And I just use this little tin with a bar of soap. But obviously you could just keep gluing pages together until you have a huge sheet if you wanted to wrap something larger than this little box that was like 3 by 3. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That really supports us and helps us make more videos. Don't forget to also follow us at 1134press on Instagram for more inspiration. What else do we have? We have articles that we're writing on Medium. Link will be in the description. And we're starting a newsletter. So if you would like some journaling inspo and all the other things that we do surrounding paper crafting, definitely click on that link and subscribe. Yeah, so that's it. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. So that's it. We will see you guys next Wednesday for another video. Bye.